Christmas in the 1950s was a special time. Streets came alive with a magical twinkling glow, and homes were adorned with garland, tinsel, and strings of colorful lights. But what was on TV? Today, I will look at a few of my favorite Christmas episodes from the 1950s. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many great Christmas episodes, and so many I'd like to talk about, but I have to start somewhere, so let's begin with these. And spoiler alert, I will be talking about the plots to these wonderful shows. All right, first up, but in no particular order, Highway Patrol Christmas Story, which aired in 1956 and centered around Laura, a young mother who has left her husband Ted, frustrated by the long hours he spends away for work. She takes their 6-year-old daughter Julie to spend Christmas with her sister. On their journey, Laura and Julie stop for the night at the Brentwood Motel. But on Christmas Eve morning, Laura wakes up to find Julie missing. The Highway Patrol is quickly called, and Officers Sergeant Corey and Dan Matthews begin the search. After a few false leads, Ted arrives, and during their worried discussions, they realize that Julie's letter to Santa, a letter that she was particularly excited to mail, is missing. And it dawns on them that little Julie may have gone off to deliver the letter to Santa herself. The officers track down every Santa-clad figure in town, but still come up short. Meanwhile, Julie has made her way to a local rescue mission where she spots a Santa ringing a bell outside. Along the way, Julie has found an injured puppy, and she hopes Santa can take care of her and the puppy. The Santa at the mission brings Julie inside, offering her a snack and a bit of comfort. And in a heartwarming conclusion, Julie is joyfully reunited with her parents, who are relieved and grateful. And best of all, Julie's new puppy joins the family too. And even if you're not a fan of holiday specials, this charming episode is worth watching just for the stunning 1950s cars. My gosh, they were amazing. I give this episode 3 Christmas angels and puppies for all.
My dog's bigger than your dog. My dog's faster than yours. My dog's shinier 'cause he gets kennel ration. My dog's better than yours. Kennel ration has lean red meat and lots of other good things. When my mom goes to the store, she buys a zillion cans or more.
Next, Dennis the Menace, The Christmas Story, which aired on December 20th, 1959. This is the first Christmas episode of Dennis the Menace, and it showcases Dennis in full-on holiday mischief mode, leaving no corner of his house or neighborhood untouched in his quest to find the Christmas presents. Dennis is determined to find out if the wooden sled he has been eyeing is amongst the pile of presents he is certain he's getting. Little does Dennis know his dad Henry has outsmarted him, at least for the moment, by hiding the gifts at the Wilsons' house next door. Dennis, unable to locate the presents but not deterred, devises a scheme. He sets the alarm on the new alarm clock he bought as a gift for his dad to go off at 4 o'clock sharp. He asks his mom to wrap the clock and hide it with the rest of the presents, just in case his dad tries to peek. Dennis hopes that when the alarm clock goes off at 4 o'clock, the noise will lead him to the stockpile of gifts. But the gifts are safely tucked away in Mr. Wilson's closet, and every time the alarm goes off, Mr. Wilson thinks it's the doorbell. Dennis starts to get suspicious that Mr. and Mrs. Wilson may be hiding the presents for his parents. So he talks his parents into inviting the couple over for Christmas Eve to trim the tree. After singing Silent Night and touching the hearts of the adults in the room, Dennis quietly sneaks away. He enters the Wilsons' house without anyone's knowledge and finally finds the hidden presents, including the sled he so desperately wanted. I give this episode 1 Christmas cookie, 2 candy canes, and a lump of coal for Dennis.
Hello there. Here's an early Christmas gift for you from Wonderful Ivory Snow. You can get these 2 snowball Christmas tree ornaments without paying a penny for them. That's right, a gift from Ivory Snow. Aren't they great? Lightweight, unbreakable, made of sparkling white plastic foam with red and blue trimmings. They'll brighten up your tree for many a Christmas to come.
Next up is Dragnet, The Big Little Jesus, which aired on December 24th, 1953. In this classic Dragnet episode, Sergeant Joe Friday is called to investigate an unusual crime. A baby Jesus statue has been stolen from the nativity scene at Old Mission Plaza Church. Sergeant Friday and Officer Frank Smith meet with Father Rojas, the church priest, to learn more about the case. Father Rojas explains the nativity's history. It was purchased by the congregation 31 years ago after pooling together their money. Though the set is battered and holds little monetary value, its sentimental worth is immeasurable. Determined to crack the case, Friday and Smith follow every lead. They contact pawn shops, interview an altar boy, and visit Mr. Flavin, a passionate yet eccentric owner of a religious goods store. Mr. Flavin's intensity makes for a memorable scene, but it doesn't bring them any closer to the missing statue. A promising lead comes from another altar boy, who points the officers towards a man named Claude Stroop. Stroop is described as a down-on-his-luck guy, and his last known address is the men's hotel called the Golden Dream. The detectives visit the hotel and speak with the clerk, who informs them that Stroop isn't there and is late for singing rehearsals. The men living at the hotel are putting on a Christmas program later that evening, and Stroop is the tenor. The trail heats up when Stroop returns to the hotel. Friday and Smith bring him in for questioning, but the interrogation takes an unexpected turn. Stroop, who's nervous and eager to explain himself, confesses to a minor parking mishap. He borrowed a friend's car and accidentally scratched another vehicle earlier in the day. Realizing Stroop has nothing to do with the missing statue, the officers release him. With no other suspects, Friday and Smith return to the Old Mission Plaza Church to deliver the disappointing news. But just as they begin to break it to Father Rojas, the case takes a heartwarming twist. A young boy enters the church pulling a red wagon with the missing baby Jesus statue inside. The boy explains he had prayed for a little red wagon and promised baby Jesus that if his prayers were answered, he would give the statue the very first ride. The little boy took the baby Jesus to fulfill the promise he had made. Another case solved. I give this episode 3 Christmas hearts and little red wagons for all the good boys and girls.
Listen to good coffee, smell good coffee, and taste good coffee. Brew Maxwell House, the coffee that tastes as good as it smells every time. Maxwell House is good to the last drop. It tastes as good as it smells every time. Maxwell.
Next, The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, Deck the Halls, which aired on December 22nd, 1959. The episode opens with Dobie explaining that his father, Herbert, is in jail, on Christmas Eve no less. And to everyone's surprise, including the police and the judge, Herbert flat out refuses to leave his cell. As it turns out, Herbert isn't being held against his will. He's free to walk out at any time, but insists on staying put until Christmas is over. Frustrated and drained, he feels the holiday has been turned into a sham, with his family and the customers at his grocery store using it as an excuse to take advantage of him. His Christmas spirit has been completely worn down, and he feels safer inside the jail cell than outside in the world filled with greed disguised as holiday cheer. Despite the judge's best efforts to reason with him, Herbert won't budge. Shortly before midnight, Dobie, his mother Winnie, and brother Davy arrive at the jail, bringing a Christmas tree and a basket of food. They assure Herbert that they'll celebrate Christmas together no matter what, even if it means doing so inside a jail cell. Their heartfelt gesture melts Herbert's reluctant heart, and he decides to leave and the family heads home. The episode ends on a warm note, with the family trimming a Christmas tree and joining a group of carolers to sing Deck the Halls outside of the grocery store. I give this episode 2 snow globes, 1 cozy sweater, and a turkey thrown through a store window.
Merry Christmas!
And that's what I have for today. But again, this isn't an exhaustive list. There are so many more I'd love to talk about. Do you have a favorite Christmas episode? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoy this sort of content, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.
Oh, night, the